And we're back, folks. After a run from Wellington, we will switch over to Will Anderson and Thacha in a game between second place and third place now. Each of these players 2 games behind Wellington after the big win from Wellington. And we'll see one of these players looks to put themselves in sole possession of second place and in prime position to make the finals tomorrow, though still 9 games of Scrabble after this one. Looking at some other results across the day, David Elgar, despite dropping 1 game on stream to Thacha earlier, still in 5th place with a 3-point win over Dave Wiegand. It's going to be big for him going forwards, but Dave was on a hot run, I believe 5 or 6 in a row before dropping that game. Adam Logan worked his way up to 10th place as well. I think to nobody's surprise, Austin Shin up to 15th place now.
It seems like the players are ready to go.
Let's see a question from David in chat real quick. I'll get that addressed as we get the draw. What happened to Ben Schoenbrunn overnight? He was briefly hospitalized, felt very, very sick, and miraculously recovered and ran into the playing room, and I believe in the middle of round 3, screamed very loud, "Put me in, coach!" To the detriment of Art Moore, the tournament director. But he is back and playing once again after forfeiting 2 games earlier. Thacha of Thailand to play first in this situation, HILNTU blank, so another first turn blank for Thacha, but no bingos available for him on this rack. It'll take, I imagine, a few seconds to anagram, look around, and then probably hut out of this rack, if I had to guess, James.
Well, it's going to be a word with a U and an H in it. So hut, hun, or hunt.
Maybe just UH.
Yeah, I don't really like the L and the N. I'm not really a fan of the L altogether, but I got actually castigated by Jesse Day in one of our local matches when we were post-morteming it for overvaluing an L and an N together. So I've been told. I think I like hut. LIN seems to work okay. But obviously, I mean, Thacha's got to do his diligence here again, doesn't he? He's got to go through and cycle and think, is there really not a bingo?
Yeah, take your time. What is it? We had a name for it, right? The Thacha what? The Thacha something. Was it just the Thacha shuffle, or was there something cooler there? The Thacha shuffle?
The Thacha shuffle works. He's definitely got this in to out shuffle technique. Goes from the middle to the outside.
Thacha slide.
I think Will at this point is realizing that Thacha is sitting on a potential bingo rack, which may include a blank.
Yeah, how much shuffling does he have to do before you've got him dead pinned on a blank here? Will just kind of staring.
Yeah, this is the argument. I mean, I don't move my tiles ever on my turn because I just feel as if it gives too much away to the opposing player if I start shuffling. Now, on the flip side, if you shuffle every single turn, then you're not giving anything away. But I don't like to move my tiles. I like to keep them, and there's a few things where I may move them, but generally speaking, I like to keep them still. But Thacha clearly shuffling to try and find something.
He can shuffle all day. He will not find a 7 in that rack.
It just feels, oh, do I have to play hut? This looks so good, and I'm playing this word for 12 points.
Yeah, or UH for 10. I don't know. Yeah, tough, but no bingos. I think going to be the play here. Nope. back to the Thacha slide. Here we go. Cue up the music.
I wonder if some people against much lower rated opponents might try and play something like Unlight. You know, but obviously not against Will.
In double challenge, perhaps. Not in 5-point, ever.
Are we getting a little bit of a stare at the camera there from Will?
There we go. All right. So after 3.5 minutes of the Thacha slide, we get UH for 10 points. And, of course, vertically, because why not? AAEFIOS, the rack for Will. He just sits there watching Thacha, you know, probably with the blank as he's like, well, I got 5 vowels and I'm sad. OAF alongside UH, almost definitely the play for Will here. OU and AH. Will not going to think about this any harder than he needs to. Oaf holding AEIS scores 15 points and Will ahead by 5. But Thacha going to do the slide again as he's got more great tiles. But only one bingo for him, and it's going to be a toughie.
Okay, one bingo. Do you think I'll find it, man? I'm not seeing it.
It's a 9.
Okay. Oh, well, that makes it a little... Okay, so that was not where my brain went.
And Thacha, gonna slide. Gonna slide. Let's go. Shuffle those tiles around. The only bingo is courtling, COURTLING, a word that does take an S and ends 1 space short of a triple word square, as Will holding an S right now. So even if he finds the bingo here, it's not going to work out well for him. Probably a play like crit, OUR and AHI going to be the move for Thacha unless he finds and pulls the trigger on the 9.
Well, it doesn't score very many points either, does it? So I wonder if you simmed that, I would imagine it wouldn't even be the best play.
We're going to run that sim now and find out.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess we don't have to, but it just feels like it wouldn't be the best thing to do. But anyway, it's a mute point.
Yep. Lint coming down. That's going to be 19 for Thacha, 29 to 15. Will 5 more vowels, AEEGIOS now on his rack, and probably GOE, GIFON, and ET going to be his move now. That same AEIS leave and 21 points. When you've got your opponent pegged on a blank, I'm going to knock out the floaters.
Yeah, and Thacha's actually got the Y for Linty. Obviously. Oh, wow. Unknown for Will, but I think just playing parallel down that side grooms your rack a little bit, scores a few points. I don't think you want to be playing any big play, giving floaters, playing slightly more conservative.
I think we may just see a staircase.
Yeah.
Thacha again, shuffling. He leaves the Y at the end, shuffles everything else around. No 7s in this rack, but of course Thacha's got to do his patented move to get there. GOE, the plate for Will, does not yield any bingos to Thacha with this rack. And now Thacha got to decide what to do. Oracy, ORACY, playing with OON and RET, 37 points, holding I blank. Or more likely, in my mind, is just OY in the same spot, 25.
Yeah, let's keep that staircase going. Let's keep going down. Although, you know, this is the 3rd turn now. He's had the blank, and at this point you start feeling like, am I just missing things? It's kind of frustrating to be in this position where you're just scoring very few points while holding the blank.
And Will, once again, 5 vowels on his rack. AEIS, the leave he's had to hold twice. AEIS not yielding dividends or bingos for him.
I mean, I wonder what's going through Will's mind right now, just watching his opponent. He clearly has a very close bingo-prone rack.
I'm trying to imagine what kind of sound these tiles make as they're shuffled on this Lego couch rack.
I think it'd be very smooth, very like...
So the Thacha slide to smooth jazz, perhaps?
Yeah.
He set up Oracy on his rack previously. I don't know if that was part of the slide or if that's a play he's considering. If we do want to continue the staircase, for those of you who like this kind of action, well, okay. The YET would take a front P, but we're not going to see that here. Oracy, a 5-letter word coming down for Thacha. I blank, will he draw the bingo this time, or will we get more fruitless Thacha slide?
I guess that Will could just play to the Y, but that does, throw out like a T, like Toei or Oti. Or does he just try and play equity and keep a leave with a very short play somewhere?
Yeah, AE, Arret, and EA, probably the equity play out of this situation. But after the slide, the amount of time my opponent spent on the last few turns, I may be more inclined to play OT here, OATY. Toei, I'm a little afraid of floating out that T. OT, perhaps a little more defensive.
Yeah, leaving an O in that and an A, they're hard letters to bingo too, so it feels okay. And it's a few points. I mean, 21 is not too bad. It keeps you pretty level. And although the leave of 2 E's IS looks like he's looking at Toei instead. Does it say maybe he prefers AEIS?
After a 5-tile play, you know, maybe, okay, so Toei comes down. Yeah, after the 5-tile play, maybe my opponent not as close as I think. Thacha will be bingoing this turn, 7-letter styloid playing in 2 spots, either DOON or LAHS, both scoring 70 points. He's also got cystoid and OUD for 69, or cystoids from the C in Oracy. So he should be bingoing this turn, barring a colossal meltdown, and I don't expect to see that here.
Will's record, well, I mean, I guess we should still probably focus on Thacha. He's got to find those bingos. Will has a few 8s with that rec, so let's see if that comes into play.
Yeah, equalize with an E would be good. He's not going to get one of those, but depending on where this D ends up, squaled.
Yeah, squaled if the D gets in the right place. Sometimes when I have these kind of recs, I'm just thinking, I need a D. Is there a chance my opponent will where would he put it?
The L in the triple would give or double would give Laliques or Squille. The I would give Silique. So Will probably bingo back here. I think almost every bingo for Thacha gives back a bingo to Will.
Yeah.
Tequila's also an option. Yeah, every bingo Thacha can play is going to give back something to Will.
I like the bingo pair of liquids and tequilas that when there's a bingo pair like that helps you have a little image in your brain, helps you remember the pair.
Absolutely, yeah.
That.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Shuffle.
I mean, maybe he's not found it just yet.
I think he just wants to find all of the bingos, get a mental list.
Right.
Shuffle, shuffle. The shuffle rather mesmerizing. At the Scrabble Players Championship, Noah Walton in each of his streamed game turned all of his tiles 90 degrees clockwise, and it was just absolutely aggravating to watch.
No.
But the shuffle hypnotizing to watch instead.
Every player's got to do what makes them feel most comfortable. I know Ben Schoenbrunn loves having tiles in all different directions, but my small brain couldn't handle that. I need to see the letters the right way up.
Ben Schoenbrunn and Matthew O'Connor, 2 American players who both just kind of leave their tiles laying in whatever random orientation they happen to fall on the rack with, and they're cool with that.
Will has spent an awful long time watching his opponent move tiles around. And he's really not had much else to think about in this game. Is it maybe just catching a little bit of meditation right now?
And now he just waits for the floater. There's the T he needs for Tequila. It's the only floater he's going to get. And so Styloid coming down for Thacha, and Tequila's going to come right back for Will. 70 points for Thacha puts him ahead 136 to 59, and Will to Bingo right back on his move.
Yeah, so we have a close game here. And we've kind of got out of this kind of little phony war at the beginning. Well, not phony as in phony word, but, you know, just small plays, and a game of Scrabble's about to break out.
Chat pointing out that oon, O-O-N, like with the Scottish accent means oven. So Doon to the oon. I like that. Very good.
Yeah. Doon is a word you do hear a lot in the UK.
Thank you, Jillian, for that contribution. I think that's funny. And thank you, Will, for the tequilas, a good Vegas theme word, if I've ever seen one.
I think tequilas can be a theme word for many places, Matt.
You are correct.
With some very good Austin tequila.
There is. Yes, I've had my share. So tequila is now the play for Will, 128 to 136. This will yield big plays down to the L. Finial and Fetial both playing 6-letter plays to the L for 30 points on the triple word square. Potentially also just F-I-L-A through the blank in styloid, 21 points, E-I-N-T, a great lead for Thacha. Between the long play and the short play, James, do you have any sort of opinion between them?
I think I take the points and keep the ET leave with Finial. I'm not too worried about the floaters at this point. Will's just bingoed and has 7 random tiles. So I think I like playing Finial for 30 rather than, I mean, T-I-N-E is a great leave, but I'd take the points. What? Oh, dear. Did I miss this? Is this a word?
Will doing his best not to give away any tells, and he's going to lose a turn. Immediate challenge from Will. That's not staying on the board. Uncharacteristic from Thacha, as Faynite is going to come back.
Yeah. We've got Faynite and we've got Canik, but we don't have Faynite.
So Chad pointing out the 8-letter Fainites, F-A-I-N-I-T-E-S, is good, but it is a sticky S. You must have that S on the end or it is not valid. So that got to be where the confusion coming from. But you do not want to lose a turn against Will Anderson. And Will, now with full knowledge of Thacha's rack, is going to do what he can to make things very difficult here. Probably jaw through the A.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's, you know, we all know Will has superb word knowledge. That to be able to challenge that off instantly, that's super good play by Will. I think jaw. I mean, there are other things keeping the J. You could play board, B-A-W-D, making out.
Oh yeah, I like that too. What is the J going to do for you on the board? Well, I'm seeing the O in Toei and a potential to play words like J-A-C, J-O-C through that spot. So maybe the J is okay to hold on this board.
You don't want to keep B-D-N-N. That's the other thing. If you just play off 2 tiles, I guess he also has to think about where Thacha's going to play and what he leaves him.
B-A-W-D actually makes the play of Finial even stronger for Thacha, though. So right. I think you can't do that. Either jaw or maybe just an exchange out of this rack.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Matt. I think jaw in that case. I think I'd still take 17 points over exchanging.
Yeah, the board is rather devoid of scoring options. You expect Fila to come down after jaw. I wonder, does jaw give any decent plays from the J? Are you worried about a play like J-I-N? I don't think so.
No.
So, yeah, A-J-I, not super scary as well. Fila probably still the play for Thacha, so jaw the play for Will. Hopefully he finds a vowel in the bag from his perspective.
There's quite a few bingos he could get into with 1 or 2 vowels here. So, I mean, going against my previous comment of saying you don't want to keep B, D, and N, well, looks like he didn't get a vowel.
Will 5 vowels on each of his first 3 racks and no vowels on his last 2.
Yeah, that was me trying to be optimistic. And as you should know in Scrabble, optimism doesn't always work out.
Jaw does give back 1 play to Thacha. Tajin through the J. 32 points, holds IF, but opens the board up. I don't know if it's a play Thacha wants to make, but it is a consideration for one he could make.
I think he's more likely to play Feeler through the L of Styloid, keeping Tine.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Gene opens this board up, gives back many scoring opportunities to your opponent. I don't think you need to do that. Fila looks to be a good play here. Keep things tight. Run to that S. LAHS or LINTS going to be a big concern in this game.
If he did play Feeler, there aren't that too many excellent lanes. You've got the F of Feeler, you've got the C of Oracy, and then you don't really have many of the other letters that hook La or Lint. So that the Tine would be a nice leave, but hard to fit on the board. That's a nice play.
So he spotted it. And wildly, this play looks to be like far more dangerous in terms of plays for Will, but Fila would have given back nice plays like NIMB alongside Styloid for Will to score very well and keep very well. And actually, after Tajin, he'll have very few options. So a big swing.
Yeah, that was I think that's a really nice find. I think take the points and run with it. That was a very nice play. Will, I just don't see can score very many points anywhere. He's probably going to play through the E of Tajin. I just don't see where else his tiles fit on this board.
Yeah, Bend, NEMN. I don't know, one of those. I don't like playing Bend. Well, all the Y's gone, so you're not worried about bending.
Yeah, Bend or Mend. I guess Will try and decide what he prefers in terms of a leave. Mend obviously has hooks above it too, so Bend seems correct.
Thacha catching a huge break after Tajin is Will unable to do anything. I like the play still, but just unpunished there, catching a break for sure. And now Thacha, I think, going to play golf through that blank L, 33 points, ILLS. Got to be the play.
Yeah, one of my favorite words, golf. Do a lot of golf.
Yeah, you're nearly a scratch golfer, right?
That's too much of a push. But I do have my moments. It's a bit like my Scrabble, Matt. I have my moments, but I also have moments of madness.
Okay, so shoot more maybe low 80s, high 70s in.
No, 70s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So golf to play. Will has a nice one here. No bingos, but to the AL, he'll have a good word.
To the AL. Oh, interesting. Let's try and find this. Not seeing it just yet. Narwhal, something like that.
Narwhal, yeah.
There's different spellings of that.
I'm sure there's a bunch. Yeah. I think the 7 or the 6 this way, the 7 with an H in there.
With the H, yeah, and whale, as in whale.
Yeah, the 8 with the H and the E.
Yeah.
And he spotted it. Will, excellent board vision, not surprising anybody. And he's got to play it quickly. Narwhal, 39 points. We got a 3-point game now after that. And Will, sitting on the blank, actually looks to be in the driver's seat after that play.
Yeah, and that's another instance of where, good players will see the AL and they don't just discount it as a place to play. They're still looking through those to those 2 extra letters. It takes that little extra moment of where can I score? That's not closed, and so Will played that perfectly.
Thacha can score very well on this turn. 45 points, either Bosk or Mosk through the O in golf, playing vertically there. Good plays for him. He can also play Skim and Bends if he wants to open this board up a little bit. That'd be 42. Or if he wants to hold on to the S, Bulk through the A and Narwhal is 20.
Yeah, so these are all going to involve using his S. And how many S's unseen? We got 1 more unseen to Thacha. So I think it's a level game. I think you still have to take the points here. It's too many extra points. So,
I agree.
Yeah, I'd imagine one of Skim or Mosk or Bosk. I hate keeping the 2 L's, though.
Yeah, it'll be the second straight turn he's had to do it, and last turn even playing through a blank L. Not what he's looking to do, but I don't think the S is strong enough on this board right now
No.
to justify a play like Bulk. Yes, the S is valuable in terms of bingoing in the long term, but if you're Thacha, that can't be the objective right now. I got to score points. I got to put pressure on Will. Of course, you can't know Will's got a great rack, AEE, MTU blank, and a certain to bingo next turn.
Yeah. The good news is there's not any more L's to add to those two L's. So this is as bad as it's going to be from the L perspective.
Always a silver lining.
Yeah. So it looks like he's thinking about skim. He's maybe not looking at the spot to the triple letter score by the I on the left hand side. Of course, that would block the G as well. Maybe he prefers keeping things open.
So skim coming down for Thacha, and a floating L would have given Will a word he played on stream earlier this tournament, Malamute.
Yeah, that's a nice
and that floating M is also going to give him Malamute. So for the second time this tournament, Will's going to play Malamute.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Again, this stream brought to you by my Siberian Husky, Colby. We nearly rescued a Malamute instead of a Husky, but changed our minds at the very end. And Malamute for the second time this tournament, going to be 92 points for Will. He's got to be grinning under that mask. He knows. Maybe he'll look at the camera here.
He's immediately thinking about the last time he played that word. It's funny how these coincidences come up in Scrabble sometimes.
Yeah, last time he also played it vertically in the far right column. He just played it four hexes further up, 4 squares further up. Can't you tell I play a lot of Civilization and Catan using hexes?
That's a lot of points for that word, and Will's taken a nice little lead here.
Yeah, 92 points, 290 to 243, and Thacha with a rack we've seen David Eldar with before, arm hair.
Still have the Z and the X out there to be pulled, so some big scoring tiles. This is a big draw for Will.
Yeah, and I think we'll get the unseen pool up now as there are 31 unseen tiles to Thacha. 6 E's still unseen to Thacha as well. That is wild. Bold going to come down. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. No, just kidding. It's a good play.
I was going to use that line at some point, but I'm glad you got it in, Matt.
I got it in, yeah. Always got a shout out to Dodgeball, the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah. Okay, so Thacha gets the Z.
And still no E's. Is Will going to draw 4 E's out of the bag right now? I think he might.
He could draw 5 of them. No, he's going to draw O's.
All right. Wow. Okay. Lots of E's for players to draw later on in this game. AEHOORT.
I mean, immediately I see HOC in the bottom left.
Yeah, that solid option, AEORT. Though with a leaf like that, you want to look at the unseen pool. And we are skewed towards vowels there. 12 vowels, 16 consonants. I'm not sure I want to hold AEORT out of this. I think I look to make a longer play in this situation. HOA on the left side of Malamute, HM, OU, and AT seems to be a good option. 25 points there. There are longer plays, Tacho or Hector through that C, but I don't think Will's looking to open any new quadrants or sections of this board now.
He does have a 7-letter word, like a Baby Collins bingo on his rack, but to Heroa, but it's not going to play anywhere. Well, I don't see where it plays, so I'm good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't fit on this board.
Yeah. So it's a nice word, though.
DOO from the D and Benz sets up the H for next turn if he doesn't draw a bingo, and bingos fairly often with this pool, AEHRT combining nicely with the 5 E's and 4 I's in the bag, though I would be concerned about maybe drawing another R into that.
Yeah, with the 3 R's unseen. I think we saw David Eldar getting, was it the game earlier today or yesterday where there was some R trouble at the end of the game?
Yeah, his last rack, RRTT blank, and he missed an outplay with it.
Right, R's become very unwieldy in an end game. This is the part of the Scrabble game where you start having to run some probabilities, isn't it? Like, what could I draw? How likely is my opponent to have certain things?
Oh, there's my Husky.
Yeah, loving the Malamute word on the board.
Yeah, he knows it's his time. Yeah, his time to shine.
So yeah, I think Will he's got enough time banked from earlier in the game where he was playing 2 tiles and 3 tiles to think this one through. I'll ask you a question, Matt. Always wonder about this. So my opponent, if I was well, he's just moved his tiles. He's shuffling again. What do you, when you see an opponent has got kind of 4 tiles and 3 tiles set up on their rack and they're split? What do you think? Do you ever infer anything from that, or do you just try and ignore it?
I basically never look at my opponent's rack or my opponent's tiles. Usually the boards are set up a little bit high enough that you don't quite see them. One time, incredibly, somehow I noticed that my opponent had 8 tiles on their rack, and that had me thinking, like, I never look at my opponent's rack. My opponent could always play with 8 tiles against me, and I would have absolutely no idea. So I know maybe some players look to do that. That's too many things for me to consider. Opens up too many mind games and psychology games. I don't even consider it. I just try to make good words.
Yeah, maybe I infer too much from I enjoy watching people on stream because there are some people when they have bingos like to separate their tiles into 3s and 4s. But yeah, this is obviously not going through Will's mind right now. This is what's going through my mind.
I know sometimes when I draw a bingo rack and I'm not sure what exactly I have, particularly when there's a blank, I turn my score sheet over and I start writing out alphagrams, trying to find the best bingos or right bingos I recognize. But to counter that, often when I don't have a bingo on my rack, when there's an unseen blank, sometimes I will just turn over my score sheet and write absolute gibberish. I won't say exactly the line that I write because it has a bad word on it, but I just write it over and over and over and stare at my score sheet and pretend like I'm thinking very hard.
Okay, so I'll put that bit of information in my back pocket for when we're next playing a one-day tournament.
Yeah, so when I write on the back of my score sheet, I either have a blank or I don't have a blank. That is what you're supposed to deduce from that. Gonna help you out a lot, James.
That does help me. That helps me. That helps me tremendously.
Then you turn over your score sheet and write down, Matt might have a blank or he might not.
I'll put blank question mark. Oh, well, wonder what else Will is considering here. Is he thinking of Hor down the parrot to play parallel to Malamute?
Yeah, that sets up the O. Ooh, that's very nice. Sets up OHM in front of it with the case O in hand.
Yeah. Yes, case O. That is an interesting play. Okay.
Clever thought. Though I might look to hold on to the R here, just play HOA. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, Will deciding to score 29 points and extend his lead.
So Thacha, with this Z, again, the Z, a great tile. We've talked about it over and over, particularly in Colin's games, but not really anywhere for him to cash it on this board after that play of HOAR. Most of Thacha's good candidate plays, in fact, do not see him using it. He could play it is Czar and GOER for 31, holding both of his P's through the A and Oracy, or maybe in the same spot, PIPAL and GOEL. Maybe in the top left, LIPPIE down to the E in tequilas. But no awesome options seem to stand out to me right now for Thacha.
No, and it doesn't seem to be any kind of setup play either. It looks like he's got Lippy, which again, unsure if this is used commonly in the States. It means lipstick. Do you use that to mean lipstick, Lippy?
You know, I don't wear lipstick, but no, I've never heard that before in my life.
Oh, apparently, well, that's the definition I use. Maybe the definition is different in the dictionary. But I think that's a fine play.
Lippy is a CSW only, so perhaps it is the British play. But yeah, that's good. See if we can hit that Z next turn instead. And Will's going to challenge it.
Oh, so Will does not know his lipsticks either.
Alas, I mean, we can't see if he's wearing any behind that mask, but Lippy going to score not just 24, but 29 after the play, and Will to be up 20. I think he might regret playing that R after he draws a lot of those vowels in the bag.
Thacha looks relieved at that one because obviously losing a challenge earlier in the game, he didn't want to lose 2.
Will's going to be able to respond through that L. Veale looks to be a very good option for him. Got to get rid of some of these E's, especially with 3 more in the bag. Picking up an R into the leave of EOT feels pretty good as well. So Veal looks to be a straightforward play here, but Will is clever. Will look for overlaps. Will would like to hold that T, I think, for the OHM spot in the future as well.
At what point do you start worrying about the A and the N of Narwhal being floaters? Or do you just take the points and hope your opponent doesn't bingo there?
I mean, if I give up a lot of points to try to block that spot, I might just get outrun.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I can be paranoid or concerned about that spot at this time. I also note the O important for OHM, but only 1 tile left unseen to Will plays in front of OU, and that is the S. So actually, maybe that setup not as strong as it looked.
Yeah. I mean, Veal is the very natural play with the E on the end of Veal. To Will's viewpoint, the Z and the X still out there, and so I like playing the extra tile. Playing off 4 gives you more of a chance to pull one of the Z or the X. It looks like he makes that play.
Yeah, and Veal's not going to give up big plays to the Z or the X because of the placement of that V, so that's nice for Will as well. Relief for him. AEGIRRZ, the pull for Thacha, and that does have the 7-letter bingo Grazier, but it's not going to fit here. And a word we've seen on stream now multiple times already, Agrize, AGRIZE, does play through the I and skim, but gives back big plays on the side. So I don't know that that's something he's looking to do here. Gazar playing with Goa.
Yeah. Gazar down, Goa, Gazar down in the bottom left is a nice play.
You got to start looking at this unseen pool as well. 15 tiles unseen, 8 in the bag for Thacha. You got to be thinking about pacing this game, and you got to figure out what your objective is. Am I looking to bingo and win, or do I think there's a chance I can beat you simply by outrunning at this point?
An interesting play, Matt, because I just looked at Will's rack after I was about to make this comment, but Zari's down to the IS of Tajin and Tequilas. Zari scores a lot and blocks the N and the A, which, given Will's rack, might be a very timely thing to do.
Wow. Yeah, Zari's Neotnik going to be the play for Will from that in if it's not addressed. I mean, Thacha, you don't think to play defense and block lines with a 44-point deficit like Thacha has, but I don't know. Zari's also just a great play in its own right. You leave 5 tiles in the bag, you score well. It's hard for my opponent to play from that Z because then I get overlap plays alongside it. So that not a bad play.
It's a very tough position, like you say. You're behind, so blocking does seem strange, but at the same time, you're not that far behind. And Zari's does score well, and you maintain some control. But I don't know. I think Thacha's in a very difficult position, come what may here. I mean, Will's just hoping. He has to be thinking. What are the chances he's playing up in that top right?
Right. Don't block the N. Don't block the N. I wonder what opportunities exist for the Z that he can continue fishing for. Okay, so this will be game. A Grize coming down, not a Grize, but just Grize. The clock has been hit, and this one's going to be over as Neotnik about to come down from Will for another huge score, 83 points.
I expect this to come down in less than 3 seconds.
No, Will should take his time here. It looks like it's such an obvious play, but if he plays Neotnik, draws the X, and gets bingoed back on, he loses. So he wants to take time, look at this pool, figure out what options may exist afterward, do some math. If I draw VX and he bingos, will I lose? Likely still going to play Neotnik, but don't rush the decision. Take your time, think it through. Why not?
Yeah, I guess there are. But where are the bingos? I guess from the C, through the C. Maybe there's something through the C that scores. But he will do his due diligence here.
Oh my goodness! Neotnik gives back Xeris underneath
Oh,
for
Xeris?
91.
Like, isn't that a squirrel of some kind or something?
I don't know what it means, but it is 91 points.
Yeah, well, I guess my animal behavior spidey senses, I think it's a squirrel.
Oh my goodness. Does Neotnik lose? Will's going to pull DNRV out of the bag, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
What? I mean, do you think
Neotnik loses.
do you think he sees that possibility of Xeris? Will that be one of the things he considers?
Yes. Yeah, Will, absolutely a phenomenal player. He's going to think about it. This is unreal. Neotnik is not game over for Thacha. It's game over for Will.
Thacha is the comeback king if he pulls this off, if that's the sequence that we see.
I can't imagine we see anything else. Will, with only a 9-point lead, I think going to have to play the bingo here. The X still has scoring options. The S unseen for Tajin's plays. I think Will has to play Neotnik and pray, but Thacha with the perfect draw after Grise.
Thacha hasn't set Xeris up on his rack, but at the moment, there's no reason for him to do so.
You can't know Neotnik is going to come down. Even just XI under Neotnik, also a game winner for Thacha because Will's draw is going to be so bad.
Wow. I guess if Will sees Xeris, he looks a little bit. I know he's playing.
Oh my goodness!
This is a crazy ending.
Oh my goodness! Even just XI will win the game for Thacha, but Xeris, my goodness!
As soon as he pulls the tiles, look at his face. Is he on hold or is he just?
I think he's on hold.
But he's shaking his head. It's like he knows that something bad's about to happen. Okay, I think he'll know as soon as he pulls the tiles that the X is a big problem for him.
Yeah, he's going to pull the provisional tiles. And I think as soon as he sees them, he's going to cross some letters off on his score sheet and realize, oh no, that's a
heartbreaker.
This is really bad. So XI does not actually win. Quackle a little bit dumb. Xeris has to be spotted here for Thacha to win.
Well, he's down to 4 minutes, and obviously that's enough time to find that play. But he's not doing his shuffle or his slide right now.
So perhaps the shuffle is only when he's close to a bingo. No shuffle now.
Yeah. I mean, Xeris is one of those words that we all learn quite early on in our Scrabble life. So it's clearly a word that he should find. But again, when you're under this time pressure in such a big game, and it's not a super obvious, it's a word you'd anagram immediately, but it's not necessarily a word you'd see fitting under Neotenic immediately.
Oh my goodness.
Will knows.
Those are bad beats for Will.
Will knows that this plays.
He's just got to play calm. Yeah. Maybe happy he's got the mask to help with the poker face right now.
Isn't this game crazy how Scrabble can, it's designed so well as a game that these things come up.
Yeah, Alfred Butts is a genius, man.
Yeah. There's a bit of sighing going on there. I feel it.
Even if Thacha sees Xeris, and he hasn't indicated to us that he does, he, again, very, very slow and methodical in his in-game against Eldar that he snuck out. Yeah. He saw all the possibilities and figured it all out, but wow.
Yeah, he saw Eldar's win in that game, which was through the OU. It was hard to see Trouter. So, he's shown that he can find these plays.
I mean, any Scrabble player rated above about 300 immediately with an X looks for a Val alongside a blue square. So, Thacha's eyes has to go there, but maybe he's trying to figure out, hey, you've got terrible tiles. Does XI win? Does XIS win?
He's down to 2 minutes, so he's doing it looks like he's doing a bit of math. Maybe
I would need 4 minutes to count Xeris. That's just ridiculous and such a high score.
I'm still expecting it, but I'm getting nervous.
91. 91 points.
That's amazing. Wow.
What a killer. We've had some really fun ones, James.
Yeah, the games have been great. They've been great.
I was disappointed when Nigel wasn't on the entrance list. Like, man, I got to commentate and I don't get to watch him. But no, I am thoroughly entertained and thoroughly impressed. The play of Will and Wellington has been absolutely stellar, aside from one lost turn from Wellington.
You know, Nigel is amazing, but there's a whole host of amazing players in this field.
Oh, he's challenging.
Wow.
I think he did the math to make sure he could afford a challenge and still play Xerus. Or maybe he didn't see Xerus and he thinks he's dead.
Wow. Okay. So maybe he misses Xerus.
Or maybe he just challenges anyway?
Does he still win with the +5 if he now finds Xerus?
Yes.
Okay. In 47 seconds, he's got to find it.
Here
he found it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering why the challenge. Why the challenge?
I think he just wanted to make sure he could challenge and still win. Save spread. He had already seen Xerus too. He put it down and immediately announced the score. He knew exactly how much it was. He saw it. He just led us astray. No Thacha shuffle.
Okay, well, you know, hats off to him. That's a great play to win a game.
We've got to cut to overhead, Mike. I hate to do that to Will. He's got to be clearly devastated, but I'd love to hear what these players have to think after this game.
Oh, there's no more gracious player than Will Don't Scrabble. He's, you know, absolute gentleman when it comes to Scrabble and everything else in life.
Wow.
Yeah, what a game.
Wow. Thacha, the comeback king.
Yeah. I feel bad for Will, obviously, but, you know, he's still got games to go. He's still got chances. And, you know, you just have to say congrats to Thacha for hanging in there and finding his winning play.
There is only one win for Thacha here. I can't imagine he misses it, but he's got to find the right spot.
Oh, I was already doing the celebration dance, so there's still Scrabble to be played here.
He'll need 18.
It's 18 points is what he needs to get?
He doesn't need 18, but he's got... Oh, yeah, no, he needs all 18 of these points after the challenge, actually.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Oh, no! A Grise.
Yes, a Grise, and we've been talking about that.
Oh, Will survives. Turn on that mic. Oh, my goodness.
2448.
Yes.
Jeez.
I already recount.
Oh yeah.
That's why I challenge.
Oh my god. Yeah, I saw this sort of thing. I didn't know whether I should. If I don't bingo and you have a bingo with an S here, I'll just lose to that instead. So
we have to go for it.
I gotta go for it. Yeah. It's a great play. Oh.
So close.
Jeez, yeah, crazy. Yeah, this word, this word that you played is only S.
Oh, Finites.
Finites, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. S only. Yeah.
Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, that's why it wasn't just out of nowhere. Yeah, that's that word. So. Wow, so this almost cost me.
I keep ZR. Yeah.
Makes sense. Wow. Oh. These games are taking years off my life. Okay. We have one more.
Yep.
We're done. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Four, 4, 1, 4, 4.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah, good luck for next game.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was a very exciting game.
God.
Will trying so hard to play it cool. I can't imagine he didn't see a Grise and AI, and he just can't bring himself to say it. If I had to guess.
Yeah, he 100% knows that was the play.
Logic.
These games taking years off my life. I know what that means,
Thank
Will.
you.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. So Thacha with the swindle over David Eldar earlier, and now a blown game. The Grise and AI play costing him as he didn't see it. My goodness. Roller coaster of a game. And Will Anderson going to escape with a narrow 7-point victory. That was incredible. I don't know how we follow that up, but we do have one more game of Scrabble today. We're going to cut away to a break. I got to catch my breath again, shake that one off. We will be back with one more game tonight from the World Scrabble Championship. Until then.